I'd like to share with you some thought today on people versus process. Because a lot of time we think that the problems we have are really people problem, not the process problem. And then hence they are keep on focusing on, people around them are trying to find the right people. And that actually remind me of Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, that he wrote in 2001, where he said that first put the right people in the bus, then ask them where to go. And honestly, I really struggled with that phenomena. And in 2006, I saw him in Dallas, Texas, in the AME conference. And I asked Jim, I said at the breakfast, there are a lot of people, and I asked him, I said, Jim, I really struggle with this concept that put right people on the bus and then ask them where to go. And that should be really your, main focus or first step. Whereas I believe that most of us middle managers who always have to deliver what, but then we don't have always luxury and ability to select who. So is it really a people issue or a process issue? And, of course, we struggled with the answer. And then I kept exploring that whole paradigm because that really had a very deep effect on me. That is it really people? Is that a real process? So I will share with you in next few minutes that what I learned from the life and the life experiences around the globe, that how a better process can produce far better results even if you put mediocre people in it. I mean, I've seen all along my life that all those people who are put into the right platform, right process, optimized process, or they have optimization in their life, they perform far, far better than those who were genius, but they were struggling in the process, optimization, or they were put on the right platform and right process. So, in the next few minutes, let's explore this further, that how I saw this problem and how I really, resolved that in my life. So, years, before, I remember I was sitting in a barber shop when I was a little child in a small little village in Pakistan, Raivan, Pakistan. And I remember people were talking about the hot news, and the hot news was that there is going to be a war in between India and Pakistan, and what we're going to do. And most of those people who were sitting in the barber shop, they were shopkeepers or small businessmen. And one person asked, I still remember, one person asked, he said, Rajaji. Basically, Rajaji mean Mr. Prince. That was kind of a very sarcastic way of calling the barber. That what you are going to do? You have a very, good business. There are a lot of people in your shop, but if the bomb hit the town, then what you are going to do? And he smiled and he said, I'm going to pick up my scissors and I'm going to go where the life takes me. And then I can just cut the hairs anywhere I go. That really had a lasting impact in my mind that, oh, okay, you really need a toolkit. And if you have the right toolkit, and if you know a process, a method to apply those tools, those lessons, then you could really be anywhere in the world, and then you can really use your skills and survive very well. And not only survive, you might actually thrive. So that really story haunt me all my life, and then helped me because I kept thinking about how to further optimize my life and improve my processes so even a mediocre person like me could really perform better. So I think half the battle is understanding your problem and then realizing your shortcomings and really building those toolkits and those processes and then continuously optimizing them. So then later in life, when I went to, I came to United States. I was lucky enough to go to UMass for engineering and business, and then of course post grad in Harvard and supply chain in MIT, and then I I utilize all those skills by going into facilities around the globe to apply those skills I learned and kind of enhance my skills. I believe the best way of learning is applying what you have learned, sharing with people, and sharing not just for the earning, but sharing to learn, to grow. So if you really share those learnings, then those learnings will you know become better as well with time, and you would learn more and enhance yourself. So then that end up putting this thought in my mind that perhaps I should develop a leadership workshop. And while I was working in a global company to to develop supply chain and optimize it, and then hence operating and managing and optimizing the whole global operations, then kind of I said, what can I do to share these learnings, so then A, to become better, and B, to enhance everybody else's experience. And honestly, what I have seen over the years, it was always the process which was more important. I am not saying that people are not important. People are important. But if you stay focused on your process, then honestly, even if you put mediocre people on on that path, then you could actually create a lot of productivity, creativity, and you could actually ignite that fire everywhere, and then you can make those people living example of lean and efficient system and all that. So then later in life, I end up developing a total value system, not a Toyota production system, even though I had an opportunity to visit Toyota factories and learn from it. And I was a student of lean and process mapping and all that. But I don't believe that any typical process mapping or cookie cutter approach of using Toyota production system is really the way to go. The real way to go is that you look at your own constraints and then and then break it down and optimize your own process, and then make sure that you continuously improve that optimization. That optimization today may not be the same optimization a year from today, 6 months from today, even 1 week from today, or 1 day from today. So every single day, we need to challenge ourselves and look at our value stream, each value stream, and optimize it. And every single day, new constraints come, and new opportunities you have, new ideas you have, and more optimization you can do. So in this way, you are doing continuous improvement. So that in that total value system, I actually end up developing 10-step process to optimize that process and increasing your efficiency and your enhance your productivity. So how do you do that? So the very first thing I learned is that you break it down. Break down the problem you have. Always ask what problem truly you are trying to solve. Because a lot of time we ask ourselves, we have a problem and we're trying to solve a problem, but we don't even know what is the real problem. What is the real root cause? So try to understand the root cause and understand and define and perhaps even develop a scope of your problem statement. What is the true problem? What are the then constraints? So first break down your problem and then recognize, you know, that there is not just, revenue or front end, the top line you're trying to focus, because a lot of people go after the sales. They say sales, sales, sales. Okay, my revenue is this, it needs to be this, it needs to be this. I've seen many companies failing not because of shortage of revenue, but not understanding their value stream and especially not understanding their back end. So it's not really the front end or the top line, and I call that as a revenue as your top line and your front end. And then your back end is really your what is typically called cost center. Your back end is really where you actually do all the purchasing and then take it to the middleware and create productivity, and hence now you're building a product or service and delivering the service. So the back end, which is usually the long term, customer satisfaction, and which customer may not even see, customer may not even see, but that's where your bread and butter of your cost, your productivity is. But unfortunately, we are paying in many companies I've seen, the back end is at the back, and top leadership don't even pay attention, and their incentives are not even aligned properly, and hence their job is sometime or most of the time is to produce and then deliver. But the productivity enhancement, the focus of net profit, and the focus of customer satisfaction may not be part of their job, and hence the customer may not be getting the optimum value, and the net profit is not seen as it should be seen. So that's really the second thing. And the third thing is really, uh, now you break down the problem, you divide and recognize your three end, the front end, the middleware, and the back end, and now enhance or encourage people to draw a value stream map for every single small value stream. You got to understand each value stream. And to be honest, I would go as far as training people that how long do they take to even when they get up to get ready. Try to challenge yourself that how long do you really take from getting up from a bed to really going into your car. And if it's taking you an hour, try to cut down into 45 minutes, then half an hour, then 15 minutes, then 10 minutes. And every single day you need to challenge yourself and see how you can enhance it. And you don't have to write it down, but if you really do these type of value streaming and mapping in your mind, then your mind will be thinking differently, and you will become efficient, and you will become a beacon for many others. And now, not only your office, but your family members will see you that how you have lots and lots of time in your hand because you are far more efficient. Honestly, a lot of people ask me that, hey, you're doing real estate development, you are doing these, podcasts, you do, business processes and strategy consulting, as well as, you do a lot of charitable work. How do you find time? And honestly, I tell you, I still feel very, comfortable, and I feel every day is a holiday because I'm loving it, what I'm doing it. And secondly, there's a lot of blessing. There's a lot of, happiness in this time, because you're loving what you do, and it doesn't tire you. And secondly, you are also, blessed with the better utilization of time, and hence you have far more time in your hand because you are able to perform a task in 10 minutes where the other person will take hours. So that's where the time comes. Then the next thing is really try to minimize your cost center and convert cost centers into profit centers. And by the way, each step I'm talking about, of this total value system, has its own, kind of require its own definition and detail, and each one could be a seminar, a workshop. So I can't explain all that in next, 5-10 minutes, but I'm just going to give you just the top line at this point. So try to minimize the cost center and convert into profit center. How do you do it? That's another subject, and we will discuss that subject some other day. And then the most important thing is align incentives not to the revenue, because a lot of salespeople or even the back end people, they are not aligned to the net profit. Align incentives to the net profit, because that's where the total productivity is shared with everybody. Encourage entrepreneurship, not the job slavery. Even at corporations, you can create entrepreneurs. Encourage that mindset with the right alignment, incentive alignment. I mean, in my company, I tell you, there's not a single employee. Yes, there's not a single employee. Everybody is owner, and everybody owns their department, and they are responsible for their, their value stream. Their owner, and they earn what they earn. They just get paid lump sum, based on the job. So basically, this is bunch of, third party collaborations. Okay, everybody is an owner. Then basically enhance brand value with network collaboration. You try to build these third party collaborations, and that enhance your brand at the front end with your customer and your brand at the back end. How we do it, that's again a subject to be discussed. And then, set reasonable and measurable goals. Reasonable and measurable goals. Don't set lofty goals that cannot be measured. And then, of course, the one of the, second last one is really use AI. Encourage you using AI in your value stream. It's very important. That is another way of saving time. So and then when you encourage AI, likewise, you develop a skill set to develop internal benchmark. Even if you are going to do something, outsource something, make sure you develop internal benchmark, that what would be a cost of build versus buy, what would be a time of build versus buy. And if you develop that, then you are actually understanding your subcontractors value stream, and you will not let them fail. I will not set wrong expectations or won't pay too much. So having the internal benchmark and clear scope document. And by the way, this is very easy nowadays with the help of AI. Once again, that's another topic which we can talk about. And then last but not least, you know, if you pay attention to your back end and do the right incentive alignment, and you even if you save 10% in your bottom line, if you have a continuous improvement process and you save 10% in your, for example, material cost, that will have 10 times tenfold impact on your net profit. Now, I can give you many examples, but basically, if you are selling something for $10 and you have a $1 profit right now, and you're spending $5 on your material cost, imagine if you save even, you know, 10% in your material cost, which is not that difficult to do with all those value stream mapping and network collaboration and network brand collaboration. It's not that difficult. Again, another topic that's part of all my leadership workshop. Then you imagine if your profit was a dollar, now your profit is $1.50 without spending a dime more. So $1.50 on a $10 revenue versus dollar, you do the math. And I'm just telling you, if you have to enhance your profitability or your revenue even, your total net impact 50%. Look how much revenue you have to enhance and how much capital you have to deploy. But over here, you didn't have to deploy any capital. You didn't have to do any nitty gritty. All you have to do is put right practices and right processes. Now you tell me, if you have a habit to develop a process and then continuously improve, and that could be a process of your life, a process of your business, a process in how you interact with your family member. You could even build a value stream of interacting with your kids, with your spouse, with your with your relatives. And if you don't focus on people but focus on actual problems and build a value stream process and understand what problem you have to solve, believe me, your relationship and your life will become better. With all that, may God bless you all. Let's keep continuously improving our processes and give people better environment. And those continuously improved processes build continuously improved systems, because systems are developed by automating the processes. God bless you all.